I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Erica Jewell.
and this is
Let's
Let's
be
Be
holy
Holy
for
for
real.
Real.
All right, so Stephanie, today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is consecration. Okay,
Okay.
so in 2020, during the pandemic, I went on a 40-day consecration. It was the first time that I had done a consecration of the such. And so I want to know what your thoughts are about consecration and is it different from just praying and fasting? What are your thoughts?
Yes, it is different from just praying and fasting. Consecration is really when you set apart time for you and God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just you and God, so you can hear from Him
Mm-hmm.
and so you can commune with Him. And so when we consecrate, it's really not about the quantity of your
Mm-hmm.
consecration,
Mm-hmm.
because not everyone's probably able to do a 40-day consecration, but it's about the quality. Like, what are you
Absolutely.
doing
I
during
agree.
that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really about focusing on your
Mm-hmm.
relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
and not just your relationship with Him, but hearing from Him.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And so to me, it's also about your heart posture, right? Your
Yes.
desire to draw closer to Him.
Hmm.
I believe that we can feel when we're detached from God,
Hmm.
right? Those of us that have His Spirit abiding inside of us, we can feel when we're not as close to Him as we once were,
Hmm.
right? And in those times, we need to, this is me, right? We should take a moment and say, okay, Lord, what's going on? What is this? I may need to push my plate back, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. I tell people this all the time. It's important that when you feel that detachment or
Mm-hmm.
when you feel like God is quiet,
Mm-hmm.
that's not an insult. That's an invitation.
Oh, that's
Like if you're not
good.
hearing from Him like you're used to
Yes,
hearing from Him,
yes.
then maybe it's time for you to consecrate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surrender and get in a posture where you can hear from Him again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always require us to do it with our church,
Mm.
right? The church doesn't have to call a corporate fast
Mm-hmm.
or a corporate time of consecration. It's something that we can do and go into ourselves. Now, I have been cautioned before not to do it without informing my pastor so that he or she can be praying with me and covering me during that time. My former first lady used to say, when you fast, especially an extended fast, of course, you're opening yourself up,
Mm-hmm.
even for the enemy to attack you the more. So, what are your thoughts on that? You're a pastor, so if some of your members wanted to do an extended consecration, should they come to you or should they just do it on their own? What are your thoughts on that?
So for me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
can't speak for any other pastors. We do have corporate prayer, corporate
Mm-hmm.
consecrations, but we do believe in an individual relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to tell you you can only pray or consecrate when we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the Lord leads you, or whenever you feel a desire or an unction
Mm-hmm.
that I need more God, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
I need
good.
more of you, Lord. Then you need to make that conscious
Mm-hmm.
decision for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, it's a personal matter, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's your relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't try to tell people when to fast or when to pray, other than our corporate days that we
Mm-hmm.
have set. I
Mm-hmm.
do ask them to fast with us so we can focus and fast as a body.
Mm-hmm.
But no, everybody needs their own relationship, their
Yes.
own personal consecration with Him.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing: we may call a 40-day fast, or we
Mm-hmm.
may call a 40-day consecration,
Mm-hmm.
but then the Lord may tell you you need to go 10 more days.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yes,
you
yes,
stop
yes.
because the church consecration has
That's
stopped?
good.
Or do you keep going because the Lord has told you He
Mm-hmm.
wants more of you?
That's a great
Yeah.
example
Hmm.
because consecration should be the remedy for us, right?
Hmm.
When we sense again that something's going awry, and it may even be something in particular, something specific that we're
Right.
seeking the Lord for. Maybe we want to go before the Lord for healing, either for ourselves or for someone else,
Hmm.
right? I think about Daniel. Oftentimes people talk about the Daniel fast, the Daniel fast. It was really a diet, right? This is how he ate
Hmm.
on a regular basis.
Hmm.
So, the Daniel diet is what I used during my consecration.
Hmm.
So, I set aside certain foods and I said, I'm not going to eat these things. But I also mapped out, just to be practical, mapped out the time frames in which I would eat. But I also built in full day fasts,
Mm-hmm.
total fast or absolute fast as
Mm-hmm.
well within there. And then at the very end of the 40 days, I did my very first, oh my goodness, 3 day absolute fast. It was difficult. Oh man, the thing was hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? But fasting is hard. Consecrating is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is difficult because we're afflicting our flesh.
Right.
Our flesh wants to be appeased. Our flesh wants food. Our
Mm-hmm.
flesh wants to drink sugary drinks all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And so, but the Lord showed me so many things.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the enemy also attacked.
Yeah.
I remember sleeping one night before I got to the end of the 40 days. And somehow I rubbed my elbow as I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell that my elbow was slimmer than it had been because, of course, my diet had changed. And so I had been slimming down. Not because that's what I wanted to do, but just as a result of the way I was eating. And as I was asleep, rubbing my elbow, the enemy said, "You're going to die."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was like, wait a minute. And so I knew then, oh, I've unlocked something. Oh, I'm upsetting the kingdom of the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So it pushed me into prayer even the more,
Right.
right? And so I feel as though when people are in consecration, they have to be, expecting the enemy to also fight them.
Right. So even when Jesus went into the wilderness, it says when the
Yes.
Spirit led him into the wilderness. So he went into the wilderness. It doesn't say that he was, it doesn't give you the scriptures that he was tempted and all of these things. But the devil was messing with him during those times. And even as he was coming out, then the devil continued.
Yes.
But the thing that I wanted to mention when you were talking about that 3 days, I remember probably about 20 something years ago, I decided because I was reading in the scriptures and I was looking at how they were fasting for 40 days and all of these things. I decided on my own that I was going to do a 7 day consecration and fast. And it was absolute. And I wasn't going to eat at all.
Wow.
So I didn't, usually for our church, when we do our consecrations, it's until a certain period of time and then you can resume eating until the next morning. But I wasn't going to eat at all. And I was determined. And so about day 3, I was weakened, of course. And being a nurse and knowing, well, you need water and all these things, the devil really began to play with me about, okay,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
you're going to, if you keep on, you're going to go into kidney failure and because your kidneys and so all of this
Wow.
thing was playing in my head and I'm still trying to focus on Jesus, focus on the word, and I'm hearing literally the enemy tell me,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
wait a minute, because this is how Satan is. He was telling me stuff that I had studied in my books when I was in nursing
Wow.
school. So
Wow.
he was feeding me logical knowledge that I already knew, right? And it was a battle because now I'm having to trust God in this fast. But the point that I want to make here is that I decided to do this. I decided, and I decided to do this because I thought it would be something, supernatural and something really powerful or whatever. And my reasoning, honestly, in this case, I think that my reason was just selfish, right? I wanted something that maybe God hadn't really told me to do,
That's good.
right? And so I was trying to do this 7 day consecration, but I had everything mapped out and I was doing it for the wrong reason.
Uh-oh.
So I said that just to say that when you do a consecration, it's about the heart posture, like you said at
Yes.
first. What is it that you're trying to get out of this consecration? Are you trying to prove that I can fast? Are you trying to use your fast and
Uh-oh.
your consecration as a diet so I
Uh-oh.
can lose weight? If I
Come
fast
on.
for 10 days,
Come on.
then I'm surely going to have, it's going to speed up my losing weight. Or are you doing this consecration so you can hear from God?
Oh, that's so good.
So he can lead you.
Yes.
Lord, I don't need anything in particular, but I need you.
Yes.
I want to hear from you.
More of you.
I need more of you, right? And so, again, I think that consecration is so necessary. It is the go to remedy, but the posture
Yes.
and the purpose has to be right.
That's so good.
If
That's
you're trying to
good.
align with heaven, then that in align with the Lord, that needs to be who you're seeking,
Yes.
who you're wanting to hear from, who you are looking to.
That's so good. I was
Yeah.
thinking about intermittent fasting. I have to be very careful with that. Like, I'm not a huge intermittent fasting girl. Some of my girlfriends are, but I'm not. And what I've told them is I don't want to confuse intermittent fasting for weight loss with fasting when seeking the Lord. Because when I'm fasting and seeking the Lord, I don't want my mind to say, oh, yeah, I should lose a few inches. Oh, I know I'm going to lose some pounds.
Yeah.
Well, let me weigh myself on day 1 of this fast and then see on day 5 and see if I've lost weight. That's not the purpose. And so I've had to be very cognizant of that. So you're bringing up a very valid point. What is our heart posture? What is our mindset, right? If we are going into consecration, are we doing it to lose weight? Or are we going into consecration because we want to draw closer to God? Here's the other option. Are we consecrating because we want the Lord to strike somebody down? Right? Are we trying to, yes, are we trying to manipulate God as if we're the puppet master and he's just a puppet? Well, if I do this and if I push my plate back, then he's going to get them. He's going to hurt them. He's going to do this to my enemies. No, 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 no. It's not our role to pray imprecatory prayers upon anybody. David did that, right? He would pray, Lord, get my enemies and cut my enemies down. Whoa, okay. That was in that dispensation. We're in the dispensation of grace. Our prayers should be, Lord, bless my enemies.
Yeah.
That's a tall order. Ooh. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Bless my enemies. So maybe we need to fast and say, Lord, give me a heart to pray blessings upon my enemies because God, I don't have that heart right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Going back to two things that you said. First, you talked about the intermittent fasting. And so, look, I like to be transparent because I used to do that pretty regular. And the problem with intermittent fasting and when it was time for me to do a true fast is that it wasn't any different from
Yes,
what I was
ma'am.
doing every day,
I
right?
agree.
And so I needed something that was different. It wasn't routine because this is a sacrifice that I was making for him.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'm already not eating not eating until 11 and then stopping at 7.
That's right.
No, I needed something else. I needed to stretch myself. I
Come
needed to
on.
afflict myself.
Oh, yes.
And so that I do agree. The second part that you were talking about is when we pray and we fast for our selfish motives. And I mean, already we've messed up right then, right? Because isn't that asking amiss?
Yeah, that's
Right?
not okay.
And so you're praying for the wrong reasons. I think about Matthew 17 when Jesus he's coming onto the scene, but the father had already been there with his son and asked the disciples to pray for him, and they couldn't cast out the enemy, right? They couldn't cast out the devil or whatever. And so Jesus like, what's going on, right? So then they come and they say, well, I brought my son to them and they couldn't do it. Jesus did what he did. We already know I'm not going to teach the Bible study. But then the disciples wanted to know, well, why couldn't we do it?
Yeah.
And what did Jesus say? He says, because this kind comes out by what? By fasting and praying,
That's
right?
right. That's
And so there's a deeper consecration. And so what he wasn't saying that, okay, you guys don't have any power. What he was saying is that you don't have the level. You're not prepared for this level of resistance,
Very
right?
good.
And so there are some things that we need to fast and pray and be in consecration so we have the power to face the enemy. So we have the power to face the resistance that we're going to meet, right? Because if we're not consecrating and the enemy comes in, then where's your power?
There we go. There we go.
Consecration will help you sustain. And that's what we need to understand.
That's good. That's good. And I know a lot of churches, at the beginning of the year, now that we're in 2026, they will go into corporate fasts in January. And normally it's the 21 days and it's the Daniel quote unquote fast once again, right? But we also have to teach people, why is that helpful? Whether it's an individual consecration or, a corporate consecration, we've got to teach them, here's where your mind should be. Here's where your heart posture should be. Personally, when I go on a consecration, I'm not on social media, right? I'm not watching my usual television shows because what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to set aside time just for the Lord, right? It's specifically for me to seek his face, for me to hear his voice. So I'm spending a lot of time in prayer. I'm spending a lot of time reading my word or even listening to my word being read aloud, but making sure that I'm letting the Lord know, God, I'm doing this for you. I totally agree with you too, in that for people who are accustomed to, I don't eat breakfast, right? And you eat lunch and dinner every day. So then if you fast from
12.
8 a.m. until noon, that's not a fast unto the Lord, right?
Right.
In Isaiah, he says, "Is this a fast that I've chosen?" Okay. And so he also talked about, so what they were doing was they were exacting everything in their day, kind of like me. I live by my calendar. And so the Lord was saying, you all are calling this a fast, but you've got your calendar set. I'm doing this, 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 this. No. When are you having time to listen to me? When are you spending time with me?
Yeah.
You're so focused on staying busy, right? And there are probably, some of our viewers and listeners who are like that. I know I was like that. I'm like you. I'm transparent.
Yeah.
There were times when I knew I was going to do a fast. Okay, so let me build out my schedule to keep my mind off food. But your mind isn't on the Lord. You've gone 10 hours and you haven't prayed. Is that a fast?
That goes back to what I was saying. It's not in the quality. I mean, in the quantity, but in the quality, right?
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. I tell people all the time, if you set a 8-hour fast, and in that 8 hours, you're laughing, you're talking, you're playing, you're jesting, you're on FaceTime, you're on social media, you're doing everything but spend time with God, you've just went 8 hours without eating.
Come on. You're
But
right
now,
about
if
it.
you only, the next person who fasts only maybe an hour, because that's all they have right now. But in that hour, they're in their word, they're
Yes.
seeking the Lord, they're fasting, they're praying, they are crying out. That quantity does not match the quality, right? And so that 1 hour fast was way more than that
That's
8 hour
so
fast, right?
good. Yeah, and it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
What are you doing during that time? Consecration is the go-to remedy, but are we doing it properly? Are we doing it in a way that says to the Lord, God, I need you to speak to me. This is urgent. Like, Lord, I'm pushing my plate back because I need you to speak. Like, I really need to know what your will is for my life. Whether that's, if we are looking for a new job or even seeking the Lord about a mate, right? In those moments, we're saying to the Lord, I'm willing to afflict my flesh, because that's what it's about. Afflict my flesh, afflict my desires, because you want to, you want to be on your phone scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for hours on end. No, let's replace that time with scrolling in the Word of God, right?
It's funny because some people will say, well, I can't fast and I can't consecrate while I'm at work. Why can't you? You do not have to be in every conversation at work.
Ooh, that's so
You can be quiet. You can, and here's the other thing, you can have your mind on Jesus while you're working.
yes.
You can be singing hymns and songs and quoting scriptures while you're working in your mind, in your heart, and going about your way. You do not have to go to the break room where everybody is. This could be the day that you say, I'm going to sit in my car for lunch.
Come on.
So,
That's
yes,
good.
you can fast and consecrate while you're at work. Now, no, if the person who's at home that's not having to do anything, yes, they have more time and more space to really go before the Lord. But you have to use the time that you have.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And
It
so
can be done.
you can do it. And then when you get home, like, you know what? When I get home, this first hour, I'm giving this to the Lord before I end my fast.
That's so good.
Then I will do it.
That's
Not
good.
you get home, you're trying to cook all the food. You got the plate sitting on the table.
Looking at the
and
clock.
you're looking at the clock and you're sitting right there before it and almost
I got 2
tasted it,
minutes
right?
left.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. Now, I've talked about that before. I did a lesson on gluttony before, right? And how we make our stomachs our gods, our small God, right? And so the fast ends at midnight at 11:59. We got our plate all warmed up, sitting there. We got our iced tea ready, right? And we're ready to go. Okay. All right. In 5, 4, right?
Yeah.
Wait, where's your heart? Where's your mind? I want to go back to what you were saying about fasting while at work. Now, I am one. I love to be off work when I fast, but I'm with you. There have been times where I was at work when I was fasting. The Lord talks to us about when we're fasting and we're around other people. Don't go to work with your face ashy, looking like woe is me,
Don't have that oil running down your forehead where you anointed your head. So someone can say, what is that?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
girl,
fasting.
I'm fasting.
I'm fasting.
Because you just got your reward.
Yes, you just got
Okay.
it.
And so we have to be very, very careful. Yes, people will notice because the ladies that I worked with, when I used to teach special education, I had 2 paraprofessionals that I loved dearly. They knew when Erica was fasting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it wasn't because I told them. It just so happened. I don't know why it happens, but when you're fasting, people want to bring food.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the donuts show up in the break room. That's when they say, "Oh, girl, I cooked and I brought you some lunch." "Oh, I'm not eating today. Thank you so much." Or you can either take it home for
Mm-hmm.
later, or you can just decline it. But it is possible, but we have to even be careful with that when we
Mm-hmm.
are fasting at work. We
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't walk in. "I'm fasting today, y'all. I'm fasting. I don't want any. Don't bring me no food. Don't bring me anything. I'm fasting today." We
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do that because the Lord says, "Okay, you've just gotten your reward." We
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful with that. So there are many pieces that go along with this. But with all of that said, we should not say, "Well, I'm not going to fast. I'm not going to consecrate." One, because it's hard. It
Mm-hmm.
is challenging. It's meant to be that way.
Yes.
But two, because it's just so many rules. No, check your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's based on what your heart says.
Yeah.
I wonder what insights you give to people if they've ever come to you and said, "Well, Pastor, I want to fast. I want to do a consecration.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do an extended fast." Like what are some of those pieces and tidbits of information and suggestions that you give them?
Well, especially if it's a new convert or whatever that's not used to fasting, or if it's some of like elderly members who they have a lot of medication and
Yes.
they have to eat, they feel like they have to eat and those type of things. Is that again? I always preach that it's not the quality. I mean the quantity. It is the quality. And so I teach. I said start off small, right? Start off with what you can do. Maybe right now you want to start off with an hour or 2 hours. I said, but in that 2 hour span, make sure that you are putting in time with the Lord. Make sure you're reading your word. Make sure you're meditating on the word. Make sure that you are before the Lord seeking Him, right?
Good.
During that time. And
That's
then I
good.
also tell them about like an hour of power. And so
Mm,
I say, if you get up, do an hour of power
I
during that
love it.
time. Do 20 minutes of reading your word, 20 minutes of praying,
That's
and then
good.
20 minutes of meditating. Because you just read your word, you just prayed. Now meditate so the Lord can speak back to
Oh,
you.
that's good. That's really
Try
good.
that. And then as you do this and you get comfortable and you're able to do it, I said, then extend it. Extend it,
Yes.
sorry.
I
Extend
like
it,
it.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Expand on what you've already started with.
Hour of power.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
listen.
really good.
In the mornings, if you do that, it starts your day off, and you've already been in the Word.
Yeah.
You've already given the Lord a time, enough time to speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
You commit your day to Him, and then you go on.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, I
That's
commit this day to you.
good.
Lead and guide
Yes.
me.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
The hour of power. Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
I think about how there were times, even as a young saint, I was filled with the Holy Ghost at 14.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to fast. I wanted to seek the Lord. And as a young person, I remember just having a group of young people when we were fast together.
Mm-hmm.
Even as I stepped over and graduated from college and started teaching, there's this one example where the young people joke and talk about me. The young adult choir decided as a group
Mm-hmm.
that we were going to fast, and we
Mm-hmm.
did that often. And the Lord used to bless us when we would sing. It was anointed. Oh my goodness. This particular time, one of my students, I was maybe 22,
Mm-hmm.
one of my students brought a cupcake to school. Oh, the sweet baby, and brought me a cupcake. "I brought you a cupcake." So I had to come to choir rehearsal and confess to the young adult choir, "Y'all, I'm sorry. I broke the fast and ate a cupcake." And it's, oh my goodness, girl, you couldn't
A
laugh.
cupcake.
I ate a cupcake, and they did not let me live that thing down,
Mm-hmm.
right? But my heart was to be united in this fast with them. But I remember that, and they just dogged me out from then on. But I can accept that I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And we do mess up. The thing about it though is that I would say to anyone, when you mess up, start back over.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Start again. Don't just say, "Oh, just forget it. Oh, well, it's done. I ate something." No, pick it back up. Pick it back up. "Lord, I'm sorry." Right? Repent for eating the cupcake. you know, but go back in. Lord, I still want to seek your face. Don't say, oh, I ate the cupcake. Let me turn the TV back on.
Yep.
Oh, I ate the cupcake. Let me go on and see what
Let
they're
me
doing
might as
over
well have a
here
piece of pizza.
on social media. Right. Let me just go. And we go to the extreme. Oh, yeah, I do want some pizza. Oh, let me go and buy a pizza and I eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's not go too far. Let's not do too much.
Yeah.
Right. But I do like we talked about intermittent fasting and the difference between fasting and consecration. I do like, though, that science is confirming what the Lord already knew, that there are these positives when you miss meals. There are positives when you give your stomach and your gut a break from eating, right? It's allowed to digest what's there, and then you can clean out and start again, right? I do like that.
I
And
know.
you're a nurse, so you know about this.
Exactly. And so I was thinking though when you were talking and about when you mess up and you're like, well, you know what, I've already messed up. I also was thinking just about how it's important for us to not only make sure that we are biblically sound when it comes to consecration, but especially if you're married, to make sure that you are
Talk about
aligned with
it.
your aligned with
Yes.
your spouse, right?
Yes.
You know, you just call a fast and a consecration and you haven't discussed it with your spouse. You do have that obligation as well.
That's
And,
good.
you know, I've been in that sometimes and I'm like, okay, I'm consecrating today or this week or whatever. And then my husband's like, oh, you didn't tell me about that. And, you know, and I do recall a time or two and me being kind of bigoted and be like, I ain't got to tell you when I'm going to seek the
Uh
Lord.
oh.
Oh, I was so wrong.
In trouble.
But yes, you should say, love, I want to go on a fast. I feel that the Lord is, pulling on me and drawing me to a fast. And your spouse more than likely is going to be like, I understand.
Yes.
But it's that communication part.
That's right. If you have a godly spouse, they
Yes,
should
especially if you have
understand.
a godly
That's
spouse.
right.
But it's also just giving them opportunities to know this is what I'm about to do.
So let me ask you this. I'm putting you on the spot. So then, do you believe that when one is fasting, a married person is fasting, should they have sex with their spouse
When they're
during that
fasting,
fast?
I do not.
You do not think they should?
No,
I
not during
agree.
their fast.
I agree. There are some people who think otherwise. But according to the word, it it lends itself to say, okay, you need to come back together. So don't let it be too long
Yes,
between the husband
right.
and the wife, which means when you're fasting, you should not be intimate.
Which, that's why it's also important. It says, to communicate and
Yes.
discuss. So, look, I'm letting you know,
Yes.
my love,
Yes.
that this time that I'm going to be spending with the Lord.
Uh-huh. I love it.
And this is when this time is over.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Just hold
So,
on for a
yeah.
little. It won't be long.
Yes.
It won't be forever. Unless it's a
Yes.
40-day consecration. And then, right, you have to see what to do about that.
Well,
Well,
well.
oh well. But yes, yes, yes. So as we close out today, consecration is to be our go-to remedy. It matters. It makes a difference in our walk with Christ. And we are living examples of the benefits of consecrations, of fasting and praying and seeking the Lord and meditating on His Word. So if you have not done a consecration before, don't try to do 40 days. Like Stephanie was saying, maybe that's something you build up to.
Right.
Also, don't try to do a full on absolute 3-day fast. If you've never fasted for 24 hours, maybe start at 12, then build up to 24, 36, 72. But it is something, I'm telling you, that will bless your life. So, any
I
last
agree.
words?
No, I agree with everything that you said. The only thing well, you know what? The only thing I will say is that don't look at consecration as a punishment, but look at it as an invitation.
Yes.
It's you inviting Christ into your life for Him to fill those voided spots that are in your life.
I love it.
Yes,
He'll clean us up and make us new.
yes, He will.
Yes, yes. Very good.